let's talk about commitment. And when I say commitment, I mean being committed to the script, being committed to the story. When we analyze our scripts, we need to know the story, not just the story in the beginning of the script, so that we can lead into it and get our first sentence to be very natural and believable. But really, you have to know the story as it progresses. And if you know the story and how it advances through the script, you're going to be able to tell that story much better than if you all of a sudden get surprised 3/4 of the way down the script and you're like, well, the story I had in the beginning doesn't really make sense now. I don't know, halfway or 3/4 of the way through the script, something is said that just doesn't really fit your story anymore. And so what most people do, I just would read it very neutrally. And believe it or not, listeners can tell when you lose the connection to the story because you're no longer talking to them or telling them the story. So when you are analyzing your script, you need to commit to your story and commit to your story all the way through. So then you can actually tell that story in a meaningful and engaging way. And remember that you can't know how to tell a good story until you kind of know that story, right? If I'm telling anybody a story, I've already had the experience. So always do a thorough analysis, and it doesn't have to take a long time. You can do a really quick one by reading the first couple of lines and then the last couple of lines, and then kind of look for the backbone of the story within the script. But again, you cannot tell a good story unless you know what that story is. And so you really need to figure out what that story is all the way through the script, not just at the beginning. So make sure you create that story and you commit to it. That will help you to sound genuine and authentic. Hope this helps, guys. Thanks for watching.